Okay, hello everybody. We are on episode 9 of the OverLimit. Not 9. What am wow. I'm
20,
tired.
20,
Dude,
29.
29. I just want to point out there was a lot of brain power that went straight to my homework earlier today. I'm not even kidding. All of my thought went into that one problem that I did, and that's where I'm at right now today. So we're on episode 29 of the OverLimit podcast, and I'm always joined by Spoon here. Spoon, how are you today?
Hey, yep, I'm pretty good.
Okay,
You
great.
know, I'm getting towards the end of the term. I only got like a couple weeks left. So
That's exciting. That's honestly like really great because I am not even halfway through with my summer semester, and I'm ready to pull my hair out with
it
with
seems
with my
like
class.
like you're taking one class right now, and it feels like you have just as much work, if not more, than you have when you were taking like three classes
This
during the
class
regular
is,
semester.
if I were to combine 3 of my 4 classes from the past 2 semesters in difficulty, if you mash them together, this is the difficulty of this one class. There is no programming. It is all like computer
Theory.
science theory. And its theory is really, it's great when you get it, like when it clicks for you, but when it doesn't necessarily click right away, it's a pain
Yeah,
in the
you
butt.
you you just sit there thinking for hours and don't tweet or anything.
Exactly. So you're just like, okay, its theory is it's really interesting. It's very interesting. And once you get the ball rolling, it's great. But when you don't, that's why I spend like an hour just thinking about the problem before I even touch it. Really, but this isn't a computer science podcast. Um, so let's talk a bit about the things that are going on with our community. There's a lot to talk about with E3 coming up right around the corner, and next week we'll probably have even more to talk about based on the results of E3. And we've got a couple tidbits of game news that we can share with you guys. But first, as always, we do our introduction to our community, to what we do, and all that. So for everybody that hangs out often, this should be familiar territory because we're getting right into the intro stuff. So before we get into the what I think we'll call the Discord community stuff, which is the anime watch group and things like that. Um, just want to highlight several things I'll do them very quickly. Um, first off, actually, I think I'm going to start with the fact that this week we are running a giveaway. The giveaway is completely underway. It has been 2 days since we started it. We've actually gotten a good number of folks to join it, which is great. Actually, there were some people that I didn't recognize who joined it. A couple random folks ended up finding it, not sure how, but I do know that in one particular case, I think the YouTube channel, somebody found a YouTube video and then found the giveaway. So we've got a good number of folks. If you haven't joined the giveaway yet, or if you haven't done your daily login entry, you should do that. This is for a $10 Steam gift card. Um, I do want to stress this that the the benefit of this giveaway for Spoon and I in particular is it helps us really figure out what you guys are looking forward to, what you're currently interested in when you watch all other types of content, and it's a it's a great resource for us to be able to pick your guys' brains because we don't everybody's going to have different interests in upcoming games. I think in actually one case I saw somebody put Resident Evil 8. That's not an upcoming game. That game is out. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there.
It's still new. It's still pretty new though.
It's still pretty new though.
It's been out a couple of weeks, but yeah, technically not upcoming.
Technically
'Cause
not
it's
not
like,
a, not a new game. So I was kind of like, oh, okay. Um, this giveaway ends in a day and a half, so it actually shows 41 hours left. It ends at 10 a.m. Pacific time on Friday. So be sure to check out this giveaway. It's free, obviously, to join. It really helps us. And Spoon and I will digest it together, and maybe next week we'll kind of put together some things that we noticed from the giveaway, like what people were leaning towards and things like that. So really appreciate that. And as a part of the giveaway, check out our Twitter. The Twitter posts. It's not posting the giveaway in particular, but it is posting whenever all of our video content goes online, goes live on YouTube, and also when we're streaming on Twitch. So obviously, it's a good place to get updates, particularly when we are impromptu streaming potentially as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, um, please be sure to check out the YouTube. Actually, if I'm being honest from a personal angle, I think the YouTube content is actually going great. Um, at least for me, when I look at it, I check it every day, and I do personally put a good amount of effort into it. I hope that for those of you that are actually like watching some of the videos, I hope it's great for you. If you're just checking them out because we're asking you to generously help support us, that's awesome too. Really appreciate that. Um, Actually, one of the Mass Effect videos ended up doing extremely well by comparison to everything else, which was very interesting. So, if you're not subscribed, feel free to do so. If you want to support us, just go through some of our videos and throw them a like and check them out, and let me know in particular things that can be improved. Because for me in particular, I edit a lot of the videos that I do, and I would appreciate some feedback so that I can make the videos even better. 'Cause currently, I don't put as much effort as I probably could do into editing the video. And also, whenever Spoon puts the Tails videos up, we try and get those up there and as quickly as possible. The one thing that isn't up there right now is actually the Dungeons and Dragons session from a while ago, which I actually think we need to get up there soon. Otherwise, we'll lose it, which would be really unfortunate. So that's one thing that'll go up very soon. So Spoon, I kind of took a lot of that intro there, but things you want to add? Talk about the anime,
Yeah.
the anime that we're watching in
Yeah,
through
that's
the
fine.
Discord and other stuff.
Yep. Be sure to again follow if you're not already, please follow the Twitch channel, please subscribe to the YouTube, please follow the Twitter and join our Discord where yep, you can talk to us, ask questions, and join in on our community events. That the movie night didn't happen last weekend because there wasn't much interest apart from myself, apparently, which is okay. Um, but I assume we'll try for another night at some point with that.
Yeah, we'll try it again.
Um, anime anime will continue this weekend again, likely on Sunday again, though. Well,
Sunday will
we'll
not
see.
be taken. I will tell you that right now. I'm going to post about that later. But Sunday will
Okay,
not be taken. So go ahead.
yeah, it's just a busy weekend with all the E3 stuff going on as well. But yeah, likely on Sunday again. Probably will maybe just try to stick around the same time, sometime in the afternoon Pacific, between like 1 and 4 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we've got I think 3 episodes left of the World Ends with You. I think we had 9 last week, and there's
9.
going to be
Yeah.
12. So episode 10 this week. We're getting down to the end where they're you know starting to see some things happen, and I'll see how it wraps up.
Can
So yeah,
we when the series ends, can we spend like a podcast or something
yeah, we
talking
can talk.
about it, like
We can
actually
talk about
giving
it.
like a
I mean,
review of it?
we already did we talked about it. I don't remember a few weeks ago or something,
We
4 or
did.
5 weeks ago maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll do that again when it's done, when
We'll
the
give a full
series is
review.
over.
Yeah. We'll give a full review because I don't know how you feel about it. I'm less enthusiastic about it than I was when it first started. I will tell you that much. It's still pretty. It's still good. I enjoy it, but I'm less enthusiastic about it. I think the
Okay,
first like third of it with Shiki in
Shiki.
particular was my favorite part. Um,
Okay, you didn't like the Joshua
I
section
think
as
the
much.
Joshua section was fine, but it was less interesting for me. So, and this
Yeah,
part with oh god.
beat beat.
Yeah. It, again, not as exciting. So,
Yeah,
we'll see how it ends though.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll see. Yeah, we won't go into that today. We'll see how you feel about it when it's over.
Yeah. No, I think we'll talk about it for sure. So, okay,
I think that's it for intro and community updates.
awesome. Then let's move forward with news. We're gonna start with Twitch news, okay, and then we'll move into um. Let's move E3 to the back because we're gonna probably focus on that for most of the episode anyway. So let's just focus on Twitch. Then we'll talk about Victor Open Dev a little bit, and then we've got the Shin Megami Tensei release
Leak.
leak. Yeah. Okay. So on June 4th, which was last Friday, which a lot of stuff comes out on Fridays. Um, Twitch is kicking off their 10-year anniversary from when they first initially started as Justin TV. Then they're rebranding to Twitch, and they did something really good. In my opinion, this is one of the best things Twitch has done in a decent amount of time, and by that I mean like the last year or two, from what I recall from Twitch in particular. Twitch added there are a couple things I added. Animated emotes being one, which I don't actually think is a big deal, but it's nice for people who don't use BTTV.
It's cool.
Um, it's cool. BTTV, Better Twitch TV, is an extension that you can throw onto Chrome in particular, and you can actually access the animated emotes from that service. But not everybody uses BTTV, actually. So having animated emotes as a part of Twitch, I think it's really great for partners. Um, I think for affiliates, it's less exciting in my. But for partners, it's great. I think it's really good for partners in particular. It did say they would add it to affiliates by the end of 2021 here, which we've got several months to wait on that. But still, I think it's pretty cool. I'm not necessarily as excited about it as the other stuff. So um, there was some additional stuff with add animation to existing emotes, which is pretty cool. Again, something that BTTV already does, but Twitch adding it is great. Okay, I want to talk about follower emotes. This is the best thing that they've implemented for Discovery ever. Discovery on Twitch is terrible. We can literally attest to that right now. As we speak, we are attesting to that. We are living proof of it. So, Discovery on this website is absolutely horrible. And I think one of the reasons why Discovery is bad, among other things, is because there are no, like, what is the incentive beyond just throwing a follow to somebody to support them? Like, what is the other incentive? You follow them. That's it. That's really it. Like, if I'm missing something, please feel free to notify me on that. But following somebody doesn't elicit much of a reward. It rewards the other person, but you don't get any reward from that, in my opinion. The follower, it's honestly like it feels like a one-way street in a way, where if Spoon follows me, I get a follow, but Spoon really doesn't get much back other than the satisfaction of supporting my stream.
And if I really like the stream, I like, you have your followers tab and you can see them live when they're live, and
Sure, and I
you
guess
can you can get notifications if you want, but
yeah,
I always turn those off because I don't want to get spammed with emails, to be honest.
sure, yeah. And then the other I guess thing that you would get is if the streamer happens to have implemented a follower widget,
Notification.
yeah, notification. So there you go. But the person that follows doesn't really get much reward for that. It feels like a one-way street of support, which for the streamer obviously is great. Once you hit a certain point, though, follows don't matter as much. But now that they're adding this potential like follower emotes, this is great. It says we're experimenting with follower emotes and we'll be making these available in beta to select partners and affiliates. Now, my question is, are follower emotes only available to partners and affiliates moving forward, or can the streamer that is an affiliate get like one or two follower emotes? That'd be an
Yeah,
interesting question.
it seemed like it's only for partners and affiliates, at
Okay.
least for now, but
Well, okay.
I agree it would be really nice if you could get it on
Non-affiliate,
non-affiliate.
which it would be nice, but let's focus on the fact that
That you can only use this emote on the person's channel, right? It's not a global emote.
That's a good question. So
I think
emotes
it's.
can
I
only,
think.
yep,
I
I see
think
it
I
right
remember
here.
saying that.
Follower emotes can only be used on the channel in which they are unlocked. We'll be collecting feedback during beta. I don't think that's really that big of a deal. I think that's kind of like a minor thing.
Yeah, I think
I
it's fine.
just the fact that if you follow a channel and they're an affiliate, you could get X number of emotes at your disposal for that channel is enough, in my opinion. Obviously, it'd be great if it was a global thing, but let's be real. If it's a beta and it's early, they're not going to make it global right away. Um, but I think this is great. I think this immediately benefits discovery of channels for particular affiliates. Affiliates actually get the shaft in a lot of ways. Um, Affiliates have to go through Twitch's contract, which by the way is extremely exclusive. And in fact, it is exclusive actually, not extremely. It is exclusive, and it's really limiting. So if I'm an affiliate and I want to immediately try and be an affiliate or like a partner on YouTube, I immediately like break my contract with Twitch. That is immediately how it works technically. So affiliates don't get tons of discovery like the same way partners would. So they kind of get like they get the satisfaction of being affiliate, but at the same time don't feel like their discovery is improved. But this will immediately improve their discovery because they'll have access to more emotes. Because as an affiliate, realistically, you're probably only going to get access to one emote given somebody subs to you.
Yep.
So it's kind of like a really minor benefit for the affiliate beyond the $2.50. But having access to 5 follower emotes and 1 to X number of subscriber emotes immediately improves your community's the appeal to your community by quite a bit because emotes are extremely valuable in Twitch currency. So, in my opinion, this is huge. It's great for discovery because for people that are in fact affiliates, getting some extra emotes is beneficial to you and it's beneficial to the people that actually follow you. It gives an incentive for people to follow, even if it's just a very condensed, non-global emote pool. And honestly, for partners, I think this makes no difference for them. It makes almost no difference for partners. I guess like there is a benefit obviously, but like it's not a big a deal as it is for affiliates. I feel
Yeah.
like the benefit for
Once you're a
affiliates is much bigger. Go
once
ahead.
you're a partner once you're a partner tier, like I feel like followers don't matter that much anymore. I mean, maybe a little bit. I guess maybe the lower end partners, maybe it still matters, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, no. Like at a certain point, as a partner, you care less about followers and more about other stuff. Um,
Mostly subs.
Subs, bits, depending on what else you're doing, you care about everything else but followers. Actually, followers
Yeah.
are nice, but they're not your.
It doesn't give you anything.
If you're a partner, you're definitely taking Twitch as a part-time job or more, and followers are not necessarily the end. Obviously, they're important to a certain extent. You want other stuff, but for affiliates, this is fantastic. This is like great for discoverability, which is the major issue for Twitch.
Yeah.
Um,
The other thing in this update, if you
mhm.
scroll down a little
I
bit
will.
more, is the emote library, which again, for people like us and like smaller partners, doesn't really matter. But I know there are certain streamers like Ko, for example, who like every time he plays a new game, basically at least a big one, he like swaps out his emotes for like an
Hmm.
entirely new set. And every time they do it, they have to like remove all their emotes and like reapply, like apply an entire new set of emotes. And this is gonna allow them to just like archive old ones and
Great
bring them
idea.
back if they want.
It's such
It's
a
something they've been
yeah.
asking for forever, and they're finally doing it.
It's a
It's
great
like
idea
okay,
too. It's great for partners. It's great for bigger affiliates. It's
yeah,
great for people who generally do more with their emote badges than just have one. They'll like have seasonal badges, or not badges, well, seasonal emotes, which
emotes. Yeah,
or game specific ones. Like again, another good idea. I'm frankly shocked at how many good things I'm seeing in this particular blog post.
every so often Twitch does an update that is actually good for the community, like pretty much only positive for the community, and
Yeah,
we're just like, thank you, Twitch. These are things we've been asking for years. Thank you for finally giving them to us. Like,
I'm actually shocked. Like everything in this article is beneficial to various different groups. It's just like, oh, partners, these are for you. This is this is great for partners and it's great for affiliates. And to a certain extent, it's just generally great for the viewing community because you finally
mhm.
get something back for following people. Like it's like such a crazy thing. And I think the follower emotes in particular will be a very big deal for everybody. Again, harping on discoverability, but there's a very good reason why um, streamers like to do various different platforms other than Twitch. Um, YouTube's discoverability is better than Twitch's, so you go on different platforms to try and get discoverability over there, and then try and bring it all into Twitch or whatnot. So this is great. I'm very happy with Rising. So
Yep.
okay, let's move to.
Can we do Shin Megami Tensei next, since I think that'll be shorter?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do that next. You go ahead.
Um, yeah, I don't think there's too much to talk about. Yes, this is a leak that came out sometime last week, I think. That Shin Megami Tensei 5 is going to release on November 11th. They had some story and gameplay details about it that were linked. And this leak seemed, I mean, it seems relatively reasonable. Then that would be the release date. They've been talking about, that game is supposed to come out this year. It would make sense that it would come out in the fall, since we really haven't heard anything about it this year yet. I assume Nintendo will talk about it at E3 at their direct. Um,
Yeah.
and the other reason that this leak seemed reasonable, is that because the leak basically came from, at least it was alleged, that the official Japanese site for the game like went up for a short period of time, and that's where they got the leak from, and then they took it
Oh,
down. So it was like a mistake, basically, that the site went up.
I see
Or
an
maybe they were
error.
testing something and somebody caught it when
Yeah,
they put it up for a very short period of time.
somebody accidentally
Um,
published the website. They
yeah,
accidentally did it. That's
pretty
probably what
much.
happened. They accidentally
Mhm.
published it to a more global site as opposed to their secondary developer. That's probably what happened. So, oopsie.
Yeah. So again, it obviously, this kind of thing can still be faked. It can still be photoshopped and all of that. But again, this leak seemed relatively reasonable in terms of where they got the information from, and the details of the leak all seemed, there was nothing completely outlandish or like ridiculous in the leak. It seemed like this could all be true. Um, and I'm not sure what else there is to talk about with that. With this, if this is all true, I'm sure we will see it at E3 next week, and they will talk about it. So I will wait until then to talk about it more. I think, because
Yeah.
the details we got were pretty scant.
Okay. That's November. That would be something that they would talk about at E3 if it was in fact true. November is the release. November, the month of November. So they would definitely have a segment at E3 where they would focus on it a decent chunk of time if that was the case. Um, okay, I have nothing to say because I'm not. Yeah, I don't really do. I have no feeling. Um, Victor OpenDev.
Hmm.
Okay, Victor OpenDev. Again, I'll let you take the reins on this.
Um. So basically, Humankind published this blog post last week, on Thursday, that talked about the major feedback they got from the Victor OpenDev and the things they're going to do to improve it. So Otto has it up on the screen, but maybe I don't think I'll read it all, but I'll
I'm
maybe
attempting to
highlight
zoom in, so
highlight some things.
there. Okay, this should be better.
The big one that I talked about I know I did when we talked about this on the podcast last. Like eras progress too quickly, and era stars are too easy to earn, and research was much slower, causing a mismatch. This was like my biggest issue in the Victor Open Dev. Like the eras just flew by, and I would be like 2 eras behind in science or something, unless you were playing like a science culture and super focusing science, which is kind of hard to do early in the game because you really want to build up your food and your production early on to like get your infrastructure going before you start focusing on science. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, so that was something I saw. Uh, Stability was a non-factor. True. Um, War resolution screen was difficult to understand and use. Yes. Buyouts were too cheap and powerful. Money was too easy to earn. Um, First move advantage for ranged units, especially, was crazy powerful in combat. Um, they wanted to focus on like naval combat in this open dev, and there was like, I mean, there was sea to use, but there was no real reason to use it, and the AI didn't build ships at all. So like, why would I build? I
Yeah,
don't need
the
to
can,
fight the ship.
can
There's
we
no ships to fight, so
can
why
we
would I build
yeah, can
ships?
we talk about naval? Why is naval in this game? Like this game has a very big issue. There's no reason to ever do anything naval based on the map we got. Um they'd have to like there's a reason to build harbors and things like that, but why the hell would I ever build a naval unit? Like in Civ, I feel like fundamentally based on the map, Civ might have some reason to get some naval units.
It depends which kind of map you're playing.
Yeah,
If you're playing Pangea, then you don't really gonna build
you don't
naval
care too
units.
much.
But
And in this open dev, it kind of felt a little bit more like a bigger landmass. So why would you ever want to get a naval unit? Like you can just run across. This is a big issue. They gotta they gotta do more with naval and
I mean, I assume there's going to be different map types when the game comes out, and the maps will be procedurally generated, so you could play like an islands map or a continents type map, like in Civ, where Navy is going to be a little more useful. Again, and we talked about this, but there was a whole nother continent that if you did build naval units and embark units, that there was a whole nother continent that was completely uninhabited that you could have gone find and like settled if you wanted to, but there was really you didn't have to do it, so there was no
yeah,
reason to.
there's like no reason to. This is like, oh, okay, well, I have other things to do. I don't want to build naval units. They just waste. I could be doing other stuff. So I
Yeah.
that one in particular, when I noticed it on this list, I was like, oh yeah, naval sucks. Like naval's dumb. They need to figure that out. It just never thought of it ever. Um,
Um, see what else? Yeah, there was some issues with religion balance. I think they did a pass on that. Civics, some of the civics were kind of weak, and I don't know. For me, some of the civics, like the decisions were very one-sided. There were some were like, yeah, that like option A is garbage and option B is really good. I'm gonna pick option B every single time. Like if you're gonna do this like one or the other type thing, there needs to be an advantage to both,
right.
right? If one is just bad and the other is good, like okay, I'm gonna pick
You're gonna
the
pick the
one
good
that's
one.
good.
It's just like, why would I
Yeah.
pick the other one? Unless it's extremely situational. But even then, it's just like, okay, but this one's just globally good.
Yeah.
Um,
And then the like culture type affinities, there was issues with that in my opinion. So what they said that they're doing to change, they're adjusting the era star thresholds and the research costs. So good, they're working on balance that way. Looking to diminish rapid population growth in the Neolithic era. Um, they're re-examining naval units and naval trade. They're tweaking the economy for like food consumption, buyout costs, tribute to vassals, because you had that issue too, where you got like, did you get vassalized, or you lost a war and like you
I
just
lost
got
a
put
war and the
in
game
debt
was over.
forever?
The game was
Yeah,
over. I lost a war. The
yeah,
game was over.
yeah.
There's no other way to put it. Game was
You
over.
got put in debt for your life, and
And
it
the
was
game was
over.
over. No, as soon as I
Yeah,
lost the war, the game was over. Which
yeah,
is just like, okay, well, why don't I just hit the restart button? Seems
yeah.
stupid.
Stability sources, improving resolution screen with zoom to territory. That was my big thing with the war resolution screen. Is like there would be like a list of territories that you could like take, conquer, or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and you couldn't tell which territory was which. Like it was hard to see the names on the map. You'd have to like close the screen and then go back to the map and like which territory is this? And I still couldn't figure out which territory it was half the time. And I was
Right.
like, okay, so they knew about that. That's an issue. They're gonna fix that. They're going to re-examine war support vassalization. Um, Armies will no longer lose their movement unless battle actually begins. So you're not going to lose your movement on your reinforcement armies if the enemy like retreats if the battle doesn't even start. So you're not going to lose the movement. So that's good. Tenants and civics are looking at that.
Yep.
Replacing some. They're going to they said they're doing something with civics or a way to use influence later in the game because influence was a resource that they kind of built up once you didn't need to expand anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking for ways for you to spend influence, like being able to buy civics and like other ways to spend influence, so it just doesn't build up and it's a useless resource. Um, Range units have bigger penalty
Yes.
in close combat, have a number of changes planned for mid and late in game range units, and tweaking affinities, adding new abilities to some of them. So all of these like seem like good changes that I like. To me, do you have any particular comments on any of these?
Naval needs to be fixed. Thank God they're changing ranged units. It it's absolutely ludicrous that ranged units at melee combat are still amazing. Um, my biggest thing with like the civics points and all that is when I take a civic, it shows like, oh, you're going more in the route of individualism or like more
Yeah, the
was that
four
collective?
axes. I don't remember what
Yeah,
all of them are like.
I literally I don't, maybe I'm absolutely insane. I literally don't understand the point of those. Does that affect anything?
There is a slight like when you have to hover over the bar, and I guess maybe it's not clear,
No,
but
no, no. Like I know, like you go in one direction, right? Like you go in a direction of, again, maybe it's like order or freedom. I don't know what it is specifically.
yeah, it's something like
So what
that.
do they
And there's
do?
like tradition versus
So what does
progressiveness or
that
something.
do? So what does that do?
So like one side it depends on which one, but like the one for like tradition versus progression is like progression. If you're in the middle, you get a stability bonus. If you're towards tradition, you like lose stability and then you gain faith.
Okay,
And
okay.
it,
So it's
and,
just
and
like
and if you're
okay,
towards progression, you lose stability and gain science. So if you're
okay,
closer
got
in
it.
the middle, you gain stability. If you're on one side, you gain one or another. Like one of them's like I don't remember what all of them are. Some of them are like money versus
So
production.
you
Maybe
get some resource as a okay,
you get a yield bonus
okay,
like the further you go onto one axis or the other.
okay. Um, speaking of affinity, or support vacillation and extermination of other players. I don't know how they're gonna do that. Um, we're exploring how to make tenants. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much of an opinion because I didn't really. My feedback was not as much gameplay. My feedback was all about the UI, and it doesn't seem like they're going to actually change too much of that. The UI changes that I notice are the zoom into territory function, which I think that would be a considerable UI change. A lot of other things though appear to be gameplay. So based on that, I don't really have much of an opinion because I didn't have too many issues with the gameplay. Um, the awareness that naval units were stupid was was one thing, but I just like didn't I didn't see as many issues other than that, and the fact that if you lose a war, you lose the game. Um, so that was like the main things that I saw. I mean, I can ranged units doing normal damage in melee combat is just logically a silly thing that should have been fixed before. So that's like
It was
that was something that just should. I don't know why that, unless it's like a special ability for that
yeah,
ranged unit.
it's not the early like archers take a penalty in close combat, but it was the later ones like the crossbows and then the musketmen,
Right.
the later era
Again,
ones.
logically they should take a penalty no matter what. It's a ranged unit.
Yeah.
They need to have some kind of disadvantage. That would be the disadvantage. it's like actually a pretty simple logic leap that they never made, and I'm a little bit surprised they never made. So for me, I'm glad they're actually fixing that because why would you not like unless the melee unit had like a strictly powerful ability or was just much more powerful, why would you ever need that? The ranged units are just like going to be good in all types of situations. So you'd prioritize to range units all the time. That's like it's like it's like archers and civ. Archers and civ are really strong early on. They're like your primary defensive unit is an archer, actually. So it's just like you want to focus a lot of your attention into getting a lot like plenty of archers to defend your um cities, which is like okay, archers being the defensive unit, like it makes sense for civ, but the archers still have generally some weaknesses when you go into melee combat outside of being fortified into a so that in that case it works, but in this case like going into melee combat as a ranged unit shouldn't be as effective. It just shouldn't. So really glad they're addressing that because that's like a very silly thing. Other than that, I don't have any other opinions. Like I we already talked about last week. My hope is that they'll just either do like somehow figure out they'll get a light bulb and they'll just perfectly balance the game somehow, or just make everything good. Don't try and balance it. Just make everything good so that it's not a race to get certain cultures. That's like the
Yeah.
only thing I'm thinking of. So as long as they don't make it that way, I'll be honest with you. If it ends up boiling down to a race to cultures, I'll get bored of this. I'll just get bored and move on. Like I'll just
Yeah,
be
for
bored.
sure.
I'll be like, okay, well, boring.
Yeah,
So
if there's like a best like build, quote unquote, like okay, I want to go these six specific cultures in the six eras because that's the best possible combination, then they have failed in like the balance of this
right,
game because I think the draw to me for this game compared to Civ or other 4X is just the possible variety with the different cultures and the different like strategies and the
mm,
different ways you can play it. And because also with the fact that you're not because usually in Civ you pick a specific Civ and then you're thinking about which victory condition you're going to want to go for based on your Civ from the very start of the game.
right,
In this game there is no like the victory condition is fame. It's just like accumulate fame points, which is basically score, but you get fame for doing a lot of different things. So there's a lot of ways to play the game and win the game in each playthrough, and you don't necessarily have to lock yourself into like, okay, I'm going hard science to get the science victory condition or
right.
culture for the culture
Yeah,
victory
yeah, yeah.
or whatever it is. So
Civ's more interesting when you pick random leader because then you're at least like, okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and then once you get the leader, you sort of figure it out from there. But in this game, if it's like, okay, in the first era, there's 2 to 3 cultures that are just generally perceived as the best, and everything else is just suboptimal. Then the next era, there's 2 to 3. You know what I mean? Like if it's like, okay, every era's got
yeah.
about 2 to 3 optimal eras, and everything else is suboptimal. And if you get the suboptimal ones, you're just gonna get behind, and then the game's over.
Yeah, if there's a
That's
couple,
what
if there's like
happens.
one or two that are maybe like not as great,
I
I
mean, that's
think
gonna happen.
that's okay. It's not ideal, obviously. It would be nice if they were just all good and you could pick anything, but there's gonna be some that are bad, let's be honest. Like or not as maybe not bad, but just
There's
not as good
yeah,
as
no,
the other ones.
there's gonna be a tier list, and somebody has to be at the bottom.
There's
That's just
always gonna
that's
be a
gonna
tier
be
list.
happen, right?
But as
So,
long as the
yeah,
majority of them are like fun and at the very least like situationally useful and like there would be a reason to pick them in a game depending on your strategy and what you're doing, then I think they have succeeded in at least like that aspect of the game with the
which
versatility
is
and the
why I just said
culture.
just make them good. Just make them all good. Don't try and balance them out too much. You're just gonna screw yourself over. Just make them good. Try not to worry too much about it. Just go from there. Because if you focus too much on the balance part of each culture, you put in tons of cultures in this game. It's a lot of balance. It's probably too much. Just make them good. Figure it out later. That's That approach would work well because I don't really care if everything's really good to out the gate, and then like each 2 weeks to a month they like start to do balance changes afterwards. I'm actually like okay with that because something like this
Yeah.
should be an evolving game, much like Civ is.
Yeah,
But
and they're gonna do expansions for this game. They always do a ton of expansions for
sure,
their
so
games,
like
and I'm gonna assume they're gonna add more cultures in the expansions. Maybe they
yeah,
won't,
of course. I
but
mean,
I
like
don't
they
know.
maybe one or two per era, but like my point is just don't worry too much if everything's good. Like that whatever. It's fine. You'll balance it afterwards. The problem is if it's like okay, there's only like a limited pool of 2 to 3 per era that are actually good, and everything else is suboptimal. Then it becomes a race, and I don't want to play that. I'm gonna be honest. I don't want to play that. I'll just play something. That's I don't want to race to the 2 to 3 cultures that are available, and when I lose that race, I'm immediately put into the
Yeah,
mud.
you're behind. You're
I'm trying to
behind.
walk through mud here.
You're behind.
Yeah, it's just like I don't
And
want to play that.
in a 4X game, it sucks to be
Yeah,
behind.
I'm just like I'll just play anything else that doesn't make me feel like oh I have to race to this otherwise I lose type condition. Like that's not as fun. Um, yeah, that's all I really have to say about open dev. I imagine they'll do some kind of beta before they release this game.
Yeah,
I imagine like a month they'd have to do it, maybe
I
1 month, 1.5 months
I
here.
would not be surprised if we see something new for Humankind at E3. Sega is going to be there, and Sega is the publisher for this game,
Oh,
so
okay,
I would not be surprised if we see Humankind at least a little bit at E3 and maybe some sort of announcement as far as like when the next open dev is or something like that if they're going to do another one
right.
or because yeah, we're coming up on it. I mean, this game is coming out in
That
two
was
months.
yeah, it's two
Yeah,
months.
August 17th, so 2 months and change, 2 months and a week, basically. Um, so yeah, they're coming up on it. If they want to do another open dev and be able to get feedback and one more time and make changes off of it, they're gonna need to do it like probably beginning of July at the latest. I would think. Like,
That or I guess yeah, that or like they'd be pushing it, but mid July would be really pushing it. They'd have to work really fast. Or if they did it mid July, they're just like, look, these are changes that'll happen after we release the game. I don't know, but
yeah, that
like,
could be one of yeah maybe yeah they could do it mid July. Maybe they in mid July because usually games they'll go for the code release candidate like a month before or
mhm,
so. So mid July they like send that out and then we get an open dev like with that build
right,
and then they'll make changes for the day one patch and like for further patches based on that open dev. That's a possibility
yeah,
as
and
well,
then
I
yeah,
suppose.
they just it isn't necessarily adjustments we'll get on release. We'll get them maybe that would be fine too. Again, like I'm fine if the game needs to be balanced after releases. Just you know, just do that. Totally fine with that. Um, so yeah. Um, any other stuff? Otherwise, I've got nothing else to say.
Yeah, I mean I agree like basically from this blog post I agree with pretty much everything that was being said in this blog post and I'm glad that they're making these changes. I'm sure these are the major ones. They're not going to list everything. I'm sure they're making other changes and tweaks as well, but these were the major ones.
Right.
So,
Okay. Then let's move to the E3 schedule. So, like that better. Can I do this? Then let me do that. Maybe that'll be a little bit better to see visually on the stream. So we have an E3 schedule. I'll keep zooming in here. For the weekend plus Monday, Tuesday. So starting this Saturday, there will be Ubisoft Forward at 12 p.m. Pacific time and a Gearbox showcase. I'm just gonna skip Games Beat and all that other stuff. Not gonna necessarily. Um, so Ubisoft Forward, that's a pretty long window for a Ubisoft Forward. I don't imagine they take the entire 2 hours, but that is a 2 hour window.
it could be an hour or maybe 90 maybe it's 90
I'm
minutes.
thinking 90 minutes. I'm thinking what
Yeah.
it'll be. Since it's 90 minutes, they're going to talk about all their like extreme sports games, of course.
Yeah, they love those.
Far Cry 6 is going to get a lot of attention. I imagine that'll get 20 to 30 minutes of attention. Not even kidding. You'll see about 10 to 15 minutes of gameplay or a deep dive into gameplay, and then maybe some like Q&A with one of the developers. They'll come on the stage and they'll talk about it. Who knows? They'll talk about an Assassin's Creed game or the plans for they have for Assassin's Creed. So those are like kind of the hot things from Ubisoft forward, I would imagine. I also think that there's going to be something. There were some rumors regarding some kind of Tom Clancy game coming out that's a mishmash of various different games that Ubisoft has made. There might be something there, and Rainbow Six will obviously be there in some capacity. So that's what I would guess. But that's Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Um, the goal for us is to try and stream when we can, or at least have like some kind of community interaction in the Discord. I could just tell you personally, unfortunately, Saturday will probably be a no-go for us. Boone, we're going to be doing D&D Saturday afternoon, and we're just not going to have time. And honestly, I have zero interest in what Gearbox. They'll talk about maybe Borderlands, and heaven help us all if they talk about Godfall. Heaven help us. I hope they come out with they put Godfall on the screen. Somebody comes out there, and then below the name Godfall, it just says we fucked up. We're sorry. And that's it. That's all I expect from Gearbox. Sunday, we have the big ones on Sunday are Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase, which is slotted very similar to Ubisoft Forward as 2 hours. Though I doubt it'll be 2 hours. It might be an hour and a half, possibly an hour 45. It's a combined showcase. Well, I guess it's technically the Microsoft Xbox Showcase because Bethesda was bought them, but we'll just say it's they're going to show off some Bethesda titles that are in the works, like Starfield, right?
Yeah, Starfield is going to be the big one probably.
Starfield will be the big one. Maybe they'll show something for Doom Eternal, like a DLC or something. Maybe an additional DLC. I really don't know. Bethesda, there's a couple games that we haven't gotten anything about. One of them being Elder Scrolls, an Elder Scrolls 6 possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if they had concept art for the game that they'll show. We haven't heard a lot about Fallout in a while. Fallout 76 was the most recent one. I'm pretty sure they're just done with that game at this point. We haven't heard anything regarding an official Fallout title since Fallout 4, besides Fallout 76. So it's been 5 to 6 years since Fallout 4. I wouldn't be surprised if a Fallout 5 got teased in something. Wouldn't really be surprised. So
I wouldn't expect more than a teaser, though, to be honest.
I wouldn't expect more than a teaser. Yep. I agree with you. Wouldn't expect that. As for Xbox, I'd be very curious if they show Scarlet Nexus during Xbox or Bandai Namco, or both. Xbox has put a considerable effort into marketing Scarlet Nexus.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if they spent about 10 minutes on it in the Xbox section. I also wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know about 10 minutes. I'll give them 5, but
I'm just they put money into advertising this thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's been on spent
they're
all
not going to
over
waste
Xbox.
that. They're not going to waste that. 5 minutes I think is the minimum, but I really think they'll put 10 minutes into it. And if they did put 10 minutes into it, I think that's awesome, because I think Xbox should put a concerted effort into games of the like of Scarlet Nexus. They'll have something about Game Pass. We know that. They'll probably talk about xCloud, which is their Stadia-like service, their game streaming. And they'll talk about Halo, big things, and some indie games. Square Enix is another big one. They have an hour and 45 minute slot, but probably less. I imagine Final Fantasy will get talked about. I imagine that being 16. And 7R2. Do you think they'll show 7R2 stuff here?
I think there's a minuscule chance we see 7R Part 2,
Okay.
but since Intergrade is like just coming out like tomorrow or something like that. I think it's this week. Um, I don't think they're going to have anything to show on 7R Part 2.
Okay.
I think it is understood that they are working on it and that it will happen at some point, but I highly doubt they have anything to show for it. I think it would be pointless for them to spend like a minute on a teaser trailer and say, "Hey, we're working on 7R Part 2," because I think that's already known and
It's already
understood.
understood.
So,
But people love
um,
their teasers. So who knows?
but unless they have like anything to actually show, like a short cutscene or like a bit of gameplay, I don't think there's any point in them showing it because again, I think it's known and understood that they are working on 7R Part 2 because that
Sure.
game is not complete right
Sure.
now.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, of course. Okay. Besides that, we're gonna get Marvel's Avengers. We are.
yep.
They're gonna talk about the
There
Wakanda
was
War for Wakanda thing.
I do want to talk about something real quick with
Oh,
Square
go
Enix.
ahead.
They did put out like a little a banner like similar to this one that said like
Sure.
what was going to be in their
Oh,
press
okay.
conference, or at least some of what was going to be. They said there's talk about a new project from Eidos Montreal. Um, Apparently, it's rumored that it's going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy game, but that's a rumor. We don't know.
What? Okay.
Um,
Okay. 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 Yep. Keep going.
yeah, I mean, they're going to keep cashing in on the Marvel license when they can. Hopefully, it'll be better than
Honestly, they
Marvel's
should just quit.
Avengers.
They should just quit. But keep going.
Um, Babylon's Fall, which is a game they announced a while ago, but it's a Platinum Games action RPG um, that Square Enix is publishing. Just kind of like a medieval style, like hack and slash action RPG.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
And they're going to talk about Life is Strange 2 True Colors if they're going to do a deep
Yeah.
dive on that one.
Sure. Of course they are.
And the Life is Strange remaster, the remaster collection that they're
Yeah.
doing. Those are the four things that they said that will be in the press conference. It also said and more, so we don't know what and more is. So Final
Marvel's
Fantasy,
Avengers.
obviously.
Marvel's
Oh,
Avengers will
yeah, oh
be in
yeah.
it.
I think Avengers was listed on there as well.
Yeah, Avengers will be
Um,
there, and I'm very curious if they do anything Outriders related. Outriders is in a little bit of trouble. They're in a little bit of trouble right now because that game's player base is completely dropped off the
it's
face of
dead.
the off the face.
As to Michael's comment in chat with KH4, I don't think we'll see anything Kingdom Hearts.
No,
They said last year that they were kind of taking 2021. They weren't really going to talk about Kingdom Hearts any at all in 2021. Um, so I'm not expecting Kingdom Hearts. It will be a nice surprise if they do, but I'm not expecting anything from Kingdom Hearts in this press conference.
yeah, I would say doubtful. I don't think I want any Kingdom Hearts stuff. Let them stew for a
Yeah,
year.
they can take a break. They
Take a
can
break.
take a break. And like I don't want them to pull a KH3 where they announce something before it's ready to be shown, right?
Right.
They announced KH3 at E3 2013 and that game came out in January 2019. It was like
Yeah, that
five and
makes
a half years between announcement and release. It's too long.
way
I
too
don't think
long.
a game should ever be seen at more than 2 E3s. Do not announce a game 5 years in advance,
They're doing
please.
it.
It's so ridiculous.
Um,
Don't give me a stupid teaser trailer when it's just like a concept and it's not, you don't have anything to
like it is.
show. There's nothing to show. We just like don't. I mean, I get it. E3 is like the time for hype and it's the time for big announcements. Yeah, like Elder Scrolls 6 and
The teaser trailer
Starfield.
is simply making sure that people know, hey, we're working on this. Okay, we're working on it, or we're thinking about it. Okay, we're thinking about it. That's all the teaser trailer is. Most people who are involved with the community have an understanding and know, hey, look, they're going to do an Elder Scrolls 6. Come on, of course they are. The teaser trailer is simply to tell all the other folks who are not necessarily as involved, hey, we're thinking about this. Now, in Elder Scrolls 6's case, it's because Bethesda didn't have anything else to show. So they're like, okay, we got to get people excited about our E3. It's like
Yeah,
they're whipping it out and waving it around. That's what it
yeah,
is. It's a
I know.
contest to see who can whip it out and wave it around the coolest. That's what it is.
The other thing I want to mention about Square Enix, and this is the only company that I've seen do this, but they did put out on Twitter the other day that there's going to be a DMCA friendly version of their show. they're gonna stream it to like a different channel or something like that, where it's like restream friendly, where like the copyrighted music is taken out of the stream.
What a world. What a
Hey
world.
man, they're this is awesome. They're thinking about the streamers restreaming it. Like,
I know, it's just what a world we live in.
I know,
Um
I mean it's stupid. It shouldn't have to exist, but it does because the music companies are like that.
because music companies are like that. Okay, let's keep going besides Square Enix. Square Enix isn't the only publisher here. Warner Bros. Back for Blood. I'm in. Get me in there. Get me in there fast. That game is really fun. Um, that's slated at 2 o'clock Pacific time. I imagine they'll just show some gameplay and talk about it a little bit more. They that game is releasing in the fall. I would imagine. I would hope at least there will be one more beta. That game was really fun. Let's see here. PC gaming show. I don't know what that is. I really don't know what that's going to be. I I don't know.
It's it's a mishmash usually. Like
Mishmash is fun.
Day Nine hosts it. It's usually fun because Day Nine hosts it, and Day Nine is a fun dude. Um, it's just a mishmash. A lot. It's you're gonna see a lot of like new game announcements, but
Okay.
not necessarily anything like really big or AAA for the most part.
Okay.
Like if Humankind is shown, maybe it'll come up there. Um, and there'll probably have like some indie announcements and
Okay.
other announcements. Like it's a pretty big mishmash usually, but um, it's cool. It's not like of super interest to me. They don't usually talk about the type of games I like a lot, but it's usually a cool like fun event.
Oh, I almost forgot. For the Xbox and Bethesda game showcase, Avowed will get shown.
Oh yeah,
Avowed
we'll
will be
see that
shown.
again.
Um, and then future game show. I don't know. For Monday, Verizon.
Yeah, Monday's a snooze fest. Monday's a snooze
In
fest for me.
television, Take-Two interactive panel. I don't. I don't know. Like I have no idea what Take-Two is going to talk about here. I really don't. Take-Two's big stuff is Rockstar, all those Rockstar games, and Rockstar currently, I maybe they're making a new Grand Theft Auto. They're not making a Red Dead Redemption at this point. They're not making another Red Dead game. I can't imagine they are. They're they got a
No,
bunch of other IPs that
they're
are just sitting there.
they're raking in the cash from GTA 5
Yeah,
online, dude.
GTA 5 makes them way too much money. They've got some other stuff that people have been talking about, like Bully, the game Bully. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of liked LA Noir. I kind of want to see an LA Noir game again. That was a really nice little game that Rockstar made. I actually thought it was really freaking good, and it's also a really good game to like watch playthroughs of. It's like watching a TV show. It's pretty cool. Other than that, Take Two's got like the Gearbox stuff. They also have Civ. Civilization is another big one under their thing. I guess XCOM. I don't know if I'll have an XCOM to talk about. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it just says it's a panel, so I'm not expecting any actual announcements.
I
Like they're just
mean,
gonna
I don't
talk about
know.
stuff and
Yeah.
answer questions. Like,
Honestly, I'm thinking you can just go ahead and take a nap. Mythical Games. I don't know who the hell that is. Can someone please tell me who Mythical Games? Mythical Games. Mythical Games. Blankos Block Party is a game made by them. I don't even know who they are. We are next generation. Okay, but who are you? Okay, you can take a nap during that one too. Indie Showcase for about 30 minutes. That could be interesting. I don't know who Freedom Games is. I don't know who Ven is. Capcom only has 30 minutes, which means it's probably going to be a nothing burger.
I mean,
Um,
they just blew their load with
yeah.
Resident Evil
Oh, they
8.
absolutely
So
did. They
I mean,
completely did. So there's nothing else to talk about, really.
I don't think there's gonna be a new Street Fighter anytime soon. I mean, maybe Street Fighter 5's been out a while, but
I guess they
I
could
don't
talk
know.
about the Resident Evil multiplayer at some point. There was like a Resident Evil multiplayer. That was supposed to happen. And then there's Razor. Again, on Monday, just go ahead and take a day off.
Yeah, no, I won't. I won't be. I won't
I
be wanting to stream or hang out for any of these on Monday
I,
because
I
I
just
just don't care.
I just don't know who any of these things are. Um, for Tuesday, Nintendo's Breath of the Wild. I mean, Nintendo's Nintendo Direct
hmm
will be there. It, it's slotted. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. It's slotted for 9 a.m. to 2:25 p.m.
Well,
Nintendo, you don't need the entire time, right? Like you don't get an
then
entire day.
they already said the Nintendo Direct was like 40 minutes.
But then
Um,
Nintendo Treehouse Live.
yeah, so they're just gonna go like hands-on with a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of demos and stuff for a few hours.
Okay. So basically it's 40 minutes of stuff of the stuff and
Of
then the rest
actual
of the
announcements.
actual announcement. Okay. So at 9 o'clock there'll be a bunch of announcements and then at 10 o'clock to 2:25 it'll just be um Bandai Namco Entertainment from 2:25 to 3:30. That's a pretty hefty window. We can expect Tales of Arise to be talked about. We could expect Scarlet Nexus to be talked about here, right? We could. I'm guessing there'll be some Dragon Ball Z thing. I swear to God though, if they made Jump Force, right? If I see anything Jump Force related for Bandai Namco, I think I'm gonna like I'm just gonna go crazy. Why do they keep supporting that game? Is there like
There,
a big
I
player base for it? Like
there must be some player base for it because there's no way they just keep making like DLC and releasing new characters. Jump Force was a 3D arena fighter that came out, I
came
don't
out
know,
several years
two
ago.
3 years ago at
Yeah,
least. That is like a mashup of all the like Shonen Jump. So like Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho, all these different Shonen Jump. It's just an arena fighting game. It looked kind of bad, to be honest. But they keep
yeah.
talking about it and they keep releasing more DLC characters
And they
for it.
keep
So,
remastering it or giving like an HD release of it. I'm like, what? Why? Like, so yeah, Bandai Namco could talk about that. I and if they do, I'm gonna go nuts. Um, what else do you think Bandai Namco will talk about?
yeah, Tales of Arise, Scarlet Nexus,
Yeah, those two are the.
possibly
Go ahead.
My Hero Academia game, so that's possible. I think we'll see some anime license stuff like My Hero, Dragon Ball, well, Naruto's maybe something Naruto.
I don't know, man. I guess they are popping out Naruto still, but I feel like Naruto's. I think Naruto's ready to be put to bed. Let's just put it to bed.
I mean, Boruto's still going, but
Let's put Boruto to bed.
yeah,
Just,
that's what
just put it to bed.
Boruto
Just
meant.
put it to bed. It's over. Just
Um,
put it to bed. Fine.
I mean, I would like to see something Gundam, but I'm not expecting it because for
That's
the most part, the West doesn't really care
no
about Gundam.
Spoon. This is
So
the West. We don't touch a Gundam.
look, it's on my wish list. Wish list. I don't think it will happen, but it's on my wish
What about a
list. Okay.
Gundam Breaker or something? Didn't you mention there would be like a Gundam
Yeah, well, there
Breaker?
was that rumor we went over a while ago with like that
Yeah,
had a Gundam Breaker 4 and like a Tales of Destiny remake or remaster or
could be
something.
that. Could be
I
those. Who
mean, it's
knows?
possible.
Spectrum, baby Spectrum. There, little baby. We're
What
getting some baby Spectrum. So,
are we?
well, yeah. There's you lagged for like a couple seconds. So, um, that was a baby one, little baby.
Um, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Bandai Namco will mostly be the things we know about already, and then maybe a few anime license things
Yeah,
for the probably. I mean, maybe they'll have a surprise or two that we don't know about yet, but we'll see.
I do hope so. I these are the Nintendo Direct, the announcements, the 40-minute announcements. I do want to watch. So, and I do think I'll have time. So if anybody is curious about that, I think I don't know about Spoon. We talked about this before, but I will try.
I
Yeah,
have
you have
class at
class. You
both
have
of
class.
those times, so I'm just
I
gonna rip.
will.
I'm just gonna rip on that one.
So I will live stream for the Nintendo Direct part, and I will live stream for the Bandai Namco part because I'm very curious about Tales of Horizon. And I would like to see some more about Scarlet Nexus. I don't know who Eureka Studio is. I don't know who that is.
Nope,
I
I
just
don't
want to
know them
point
either.
something out, though. I want to point something out. Where the hell is Devolver Digital?
Oh, they're not gonna have their. You're right. They're not here. No meme conference from Devolver. Devolver.
Devolver's not here, which I'm kind of shocked at because Fall Guys is a thing, right? Like I'm a little bit surprised. Like Devolver didn't Devolver make Fall Guys? Weren't they the ones behind Fall Guys?
Well,
So
maybe they published it. I'm pretty
they
sure they weren't the
published it,
developer,
but
but
still, wasn't Fall Guys published by Devolver Digital? Yeah, Epic Games, Devolver Digital. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because Epic didn't Epic like get by Fall Guys. I don't remember how, but yeah, Devolver Digital's not here. We're not gonna get a meme show.
yep,
Unbelievable.
no meme show.
That's unbelievable. I'm a little bit disappointed, but for sure Tuesday there'll be streams Tuesday. Unfortunately, I would love to stream the Sunday Xbox Bethesda game showcase, but I unfortunately have to do some at that time. But um Sunday the Square Enix one, I would be interested in streaming. So if anybody's interested in that, Spoon if Spoon and I
Yep,
are both available,
I should be available for that one.
yeah, that one will be fun. I'll probably also stick around to watch the Back for Blood one. So we'll be around for that. And depending on what we see initially from PC Gaming Show, maybe we'll stick around for that too. So
Yep.
for the channel, we'll skip Saturday because of other commitments. Monday's a snooze fest, but Sunday and Tuesday you can expect that we'll be streaming here if possible. So
Yeah, and for the Xbox One, at the very least, I will. We're not going to stream it because Otto generally handles all the streaming for the podcast. But I'll hop in like a voice call, like one of the general channels in here, and we can like watch party it for people who want to join and talk about stuff when
yeah,
it's going on.
yeah, no, of course. So if anybody's interested, you're welcome to hang out, and we'll be doing that. I think I'm very excited for the Xbox One. I do think that the Xbox Bethesda one will be kind of fun just because of Halo. Ubisoft Forward, I'm actually a little bit interested in, but just to see some info on Far Cry and what they're gonna do about Assassin's Creed. And then the Tuesday's looking really fun. Tuesday looks really fun too. Um, I don't know how you're feeling particularly, Spoon, but I think there's some good stuff on Sunday and Tuesday.
Now the spectrums are hitting me.
Oh, they're hitting you now. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I was just saying that Sunday and Tuesday look like really good days.
yeah.
Fun.
Sunday and Tuesday look really good to me as well. Xbox is gonna have something. Square is should have something that I'm interested in.
They 100% will have something that
Nintendo's Nintendo and Bamco at the very least will have Scarlet Nexus and Tales of Arise, which I'm interested in both of those. So
yeah, they'll have stuff for that. Okay. That is the E3 schedule for the coming weekend. And yeah, I think it's going to be I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be pretty fun. So,
yeah,
um let's go ahead
there have
and
there have been a few like things going around. Apparently, like E3 is like quote unquote.
there it is again.
I've been hearing some. I've been hearing some rumors, at least, that it is not super exciting. So I'm not sure. So I mean,
What
again, they're
you're
not.
going to have to say again for E3 what?
E3 is apparently happening for the press like this week. They're kind of getting a preview it.
Wait, the press is getting a preview of E3 already?
Apparently, I don't know if this is true, but that's what some people are saying. There's some at least rumors going around. Again, nothing specific because if they're specific, then it's NDA and they get in trouble. But that you know, the announcements are lackluster, so it's like a temper your expectations type thing, which may or may not be true. Could just be people blowing smoke out their ass. Who knows? But
I
you know,
I would say like let's I think it's people just trying to
get clicks.
get some likes and clicks. That's that just that happens. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Let's wait and see for ours. thing. There's one other thing we didn't talk about regarding game news, and I think we should talk about it. Can you guess what it is?
Yeah, it's Genshin.
Yeah, of course it is. So let's talk about Genshin Impact for a little bit. So, okay, we did some math. Okay, we did homework. According to our math from the new update,
Which came out last night.
came out last night, which I have thoughts on the update already. They're not good thoughts. They're not good thoughts. I can tell you that already. The skin for the character Jeem that you have to purchase is about
It's close to
$28.
$30. It's
About
like $28.
Yeah, it's $28. It costs 1,650 Genesis crystals to purchase.
Which is 50 more than a 10 pull. 10 pulls are 1,600.
You can't buy with Primo gems. Try wake up. This is important. You better wake up right now. And it's if you haven't made a Genesis crystals purchase, it's $15, but let's assume people have.
Yeah, because you get double in Genesis crystals on your first purchase.
Now, I had this conversation with Spoon before, and I want to share it here. In the gacha community, this is the going rate for a skin. Some of the gacha folks that I had a small chat with regarding this, they're like, "Oh, that's pretty reasonably priced." It's an outfit change, and there are no changes to animations. There are no changes to how the abilities look. It is simply a costume change. So it's apparent, like to some folks that's overpriced, but to the gacha community it's not. So that is something to be said. I'm not going to actually focus on the Jean skin because look, I'm going to be honest. If you want to buy it, you buy it. Go for it. Really, if you think it's priced for you, buy it. Don't care, but don't be stupid about it. And I would fully expect all of the skins moving forward to be the same price. The nice thing though is the Barbara skin is completely collected through the event, which is very nice. That's great. So Spoon, I'll let you say your piece regarding the skin cost and all that, but after that, I want to talk about this event.
I mean, I've already ranted to you about this, and I actually did kind of the same rant with Megan. I think it was yesterday or the other day.
Yep.
I think that, I mean, obviously this is the going rate in gacha games, as is the rate for 10 pulls, which is like, between $25 and $30 for a 10 pull, and between $25 and $30 for a skin.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, this, again, I am not a prevalent gacha game player. I played Kingdom Hearts Unchained Key / Union Cross a little bit. I never paid a dime. I never paid a dime in that game. I played Tales of Grostoria a little bit. I never paid a dime in that game.
Yep.
And I played this Genshin Impact. So I'm not a, super experienced gacha player. But to me, $25 to $30 for a skin.
Hold on, he'll be back in a second.
If Spectrum will let me talk.
Go ahead.
$25 to $30.
Oh, it's not. Damn. Spectrum's bullying today. It's being a bully.
Is completely asinine. I would never pay that much for, just on principle. In the Ganyu banner, I almost bought Genesis crystals because I really wanted Ganyu.
But you resisted.
But, well, I got her.
Oh, you got, that's right. You got,
at the very end of the banner, I got her. Had I not gotten her on the pull that I got her, I probably would have bought at least like one pull worth of, because I was like pretty close to pity, if not I hit pity to get her.
Yeah, they did. Got you. Did. They almost had you.
They almost got me a little bit.
Yeah.
But in general, on principle, I think those prices are absolutely absurd. And the fact that, and I'll do the short version, the fact that a pack of Pokemon cards, which comes with 11
Pokemon cards, there's like 11 to 10 in a pack.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
It costs $5, and you have the chance of getting something really cool and really
interesting. You usually get like a foil, and you also get at least a rare or a super. We'll just call it super rare. We won't get into the minutia of Pokemon cards right now.
basically, if you get lucky, you can sell it back. Like you, either it's a cool collector's item if you like collecting Pokemon cards, or you can actually sell it back for a huge profit.
Which you can. It's
Um,
true. So
whereas 10 pull in a gacha game costs 5 to 6 times as much. Um, and you get usually 10 garbage thing, like 9 garbage things, and like one either 4-star character or 4-star weapon. And every like 70 to 80 or 90 pulls, you get a 5-star character or weapon.
you get something actually valuable.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, 4-star characters can be valuable, but in all real, let's be real. 5-star characters are where it's at. That's what you want, right?
And at least per terms of service, that cannot be resold for any value. I know, like technically, you could sell your account if your account like has could be valuable, and you could sell your account for probably like at least $1,000 if you had like
there's
a bunch of 5-star
100% there's
characters.
100% people out there who are like, haha, I've pulled 5-star characters. Time to sell this for $1,000.
Yeah.
And there's 100% somebody out there who said, yeah, sure, I'll buy that for $1,000. So
Yeah.
let's not pretend that people are definitely doing that.
You're right. And yeah, again, to Michael's point in the chat, a skin that is a palette swap, so it's just a color on the same costume, is $5. A skin that is a costume change is $10. And that's what this skin is. It's a costume change.
Yes, correct.
So that would be a $10 skin to me in League of Legends. The $30 skins in League of Legends completely changed the look of the champion, like the voice lines, the animations, the effects on the abilities, and they usually add some like new cool shit too.
Yes, they do. Yes, correct. But,
so,
yep, go ahead.
To me, at least compared to like League of Legends and compared to like physical cards, the value that you get from gacha game pulls, despite them being like much more expensive than the other things, is just not worth it. But apparently that's the going rate in gacha games, and I'm just not privy to that since I don't play gacha games that much except for Genshin Impact.
Is the going rate. Again.
But I just wish it wasn't. Like, if 10 pulls were $5 like they should be, I might be inclined to buy one every now and then, but nope.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they
nope.
can't.
They don't care about the regular people who like are willing to spend a little bit. They only want whales. They really don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about me. They don't care at all. They don't want me to give them $5 every so often. They want the people that are gonna every single banner they're gonna spend $500 to $1,000 and like pull until they get like multiple constellations on the 5-star character.
They do.
Basically.
Are you kidding me? Do the math on that. If I spend $5 a month on their little subscription thing, that's $60. A 5-star character. We did the 100% not the correct way to do the math, but we did simple math. The simple math is on your average 5-star character that isn't a limited character. We're gonna rule out limited characters because the going rate for those increases drastically. Let's say pulling Jean. To pull Jean, you need to do at most, which we always have to treat it as worst case scenario, to be honest with you. At most, you gotta do 9-10 pulls. I'm sure the problem. We understand that math, but in the worst case scenario,
if you're talking about getting a specific character, you could pull infinitely and never get Jean. You could pull infinitely on the standard banner and never get Jean. You could get 1,000 freaking Deluxe and never get Jean, Mona, Chi-Chi, Kaching.
I understand.
The only ones that are actually guaranteed are the limited characters with like the 50-50, and then it's guaranteed the second time.
I understand. My point is, let's say you got Jean, and in order to get her as a 5-star character, we're not going to do the math on, you have an X probability to get this 5-star character. Let's do the math on that. We're doing the math on to get a 5-star character, and let's just say
5-star item, something 5-star, whether it be a weapon or a character.
Correct. If you do that math, it's 9-10 pulls. Okay.
Yeah.
Which amounts to $25 per 10 pull based on their marketplace. Just do the math from there. 9 times 25, that's $225. So a 5-star character or item, seemingly that's the cost to acquire it. So that's going to be the market right now. That's how we're going to pretend the market works. Is that particular character, it costs that much money to acquire it, so that's going to be its value for now. That's not the right way to do it, but this is the way we're doing it right now. Like it. So if somebody is forced to pay $225 to get a 5-star character, and in the case of a limited, it's probably going to be potentially double that because
It's
you can lose
double.
the coin flip.
Yeah, it's double because you can lose the coin. So like
So
guaranteed to get the limited character, it's double that. It's
right.
450.
So it's 450. So the limited character seemingly in the worst case scenario costs $450.
Yeah,
So
it's 50-50 the first time, and
yep,
then it's guaranteed the
yep.
second time on the premium if
But
you keep pulling on the same banner.
but you always have to treat worst case.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
you
you
treat
always
worst
have to.
case. So it's 180 pulls or
Yep,
1810 pulls.
yep. It's so. Are you kidding me? Of course they're going to take the person that's going to throw the $450 as opposed to the $6, the $5 a month. They want that person. That person's coming in here hot every 2 months, 3 months, and dropping potentially 450 in the worst case just to get their character. I mean, they're
Yeah,
not, but
somebody who understands it more and is way smarter than me probably did the math. But I would think like, okay, if you got more people to buy in, like you would still have whales who go in. Obviously, they wouldn't give you as much because it doesn't cost as much,
right.
but you would get a significantly higher number of people who actually spend some money on the game.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I would think that there's a medium where like it would actually be worth it to reduce the price. But
Nope.
obviously, there's somebody out there who I'm sure did the market analysis and the math, and this is the going rate, and that's why it is because they determined that this was the optimal price for them
Right.
making money. I'm sure.
Somebody said, if you take League of Legends, somebody figured out, and there was actually numbers for this. I just don't remember what they are updated to today, or even last year. But somebody did the math and said the average League of Legends player spends X dollars. So they ran that calculation. And, okay, the average League of Legends player pays like 5 to 10. I'm curious to see what the average calculation of that is for Genshin, but I'll tell you this much: they don't care about the average player. Why the hell would they care about the average player
And
and pricing to them? Because that's not the price point that makes them the most money based on this model. For League of Legends, that probably works. But for Genshin Impact,
yeah,
it's not how it works. You have to price based on the top X percent, which it's probably less. It's probably the top 5%, maybe even less. And
I don't know.
the average spending power of the top 5% is drastically higher than the rest of the 95%. It's drastically higher. So you have to. So they're probably saying, okay, look, we gotta throw our market numbers based on this 5%, because the other 95% they're not spending the money. So who cares?
Yeah,
Whatever.
they're spending little to none. So
If they spend $10, it's above average. So great, good job. But these other guys are spending an average of $500 per month or whatever.
for 6 weeks basically for like every
Yes.
patch. Or
So
actually, no, per like 2 or 3 weeks. It's like every time there's a new character. So maybe it's once a month or
yeah, maybe it's
once
once a
every
month.
6 weeks, something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. So there you go. Why would they price for you when you spend an average of $10 when the other person spends $500? That's a nice healthy multiplier on the spending power. So of course they're going to charge the market that's buying their shit, not the market that's not buying their stuff. So I wish they would be generous and they would sell like the Gene Skin in particular or somebody else, then a reasonable rate of like $10. $10 is more reasonable than 28. I think we can agree. I wish they would, but they probably figured no. The spending
Yeah,
power of the bigger chunk is just too great.
yeah. If the Gene Skin was like $5 to $10, I might think about getting it. But it's just
2014
wait.
0. Yeah, that Tyler, what you posted there is 100%. I'm sure correct. I'm 100% sure. Not just even that, just trusting your research, but that seems right. That just seems right to me.
It's a very small percentage. It's
Yep.
like less than 1% is
Right.
generating so much of the revenue.
It generates all the revenue, so they're going to price things for them. Is that fair, or is that ethically correct? I mean,
No.
probably not. No, but that's how they do it.
But they only
and
care about making money, so there you go.
they're trying to make the most money they can, and the most money they can is the top one, less
Is
than
the whale
1%.
is the whales.
So it's like how EA works. It's the same thing. Some guy at EA does the same thing. He sat down and he said, okay, all of our FIFA revenue comes from the top 1%. So let's price things based on them. What about the other people? Who gives a shit? Why would we price based on them? They don't pay money. Their average
They'll,
spending power is like $5. But the other
yeah,
people's average spending power is 100.
they'll buy like one pack every
Yeah.
so often or
Oh, they
something
bought
like
one
that.
pack. Cool, nice. That's more than we expected them to spend. So great job. But the other people that are spending hundreds per new pack release, that's who you're pricing for. So it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. I really wish the jean skin was not $28. I wish it was 10 or less. That would be reasonable because it's simple. It is a costume change, but shucks.
That's the market. That's where it's at.
But
Unfortunately.
I don't want to talk about her skin much
Well,
more.
yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine skin. I
It's
think
fine.
it's overpriced, but that's about all I have to say about
I
it.
do think it looks good. I just wish
It looks good.
there was a little bit more to it, but
I
I
actually
think it
like
looks
the
good.
barber. I like the barber one a little bit better,
Yep.
to be honest. The barber one's pretty
Yeah, the
cute.
Barbara one's pretty good. I like that one too. It's good.
I mean,
It's real
I
good.
don't use Barbara, but you know,
That's
whatever.
cool. It's cool. It's free, so that's nice. If you do the event,
If you play the event, yeah,
I bet after the event they'll
they'll probably
charge for it.
sell it. They'll probably
They'll
sell
probably
it
charge for
after
it.
the event.
Um, let's talk about the event. Now that Try's fully asleep, we can talk about the event.
Hmm.
So the event is when you start the quest line for it, which by the way I couldn't tell you what the quest line is because I literally don't give a shit. The quest line, once you start it, you eventually get to these islands.
Can I make a comment
Go
real
ahead.
quick about the quest line?
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
I was playing a little bit this morning, and
Yeah,
I'm
sure
in the
thing.
middle of the quest line, and I got to the point in the quest line where you have to talk to Jean
Yeah, sure.
as part of the quest line, and I couldn't talk to Jean because apparently Jean was involved in another quest, so I have to fucking go do that quest first before I can continue the
I have
event
that
quest
same
line.
issue. It's only like you only have to talk to one other person basically, and then you're good. But
That
yeah, I
that
mean,
that thing in Genshin where it's like, oh, this character is involved in another quest. Like, program your game better. That's fucking bullshit. That's stupid. Like, stop.
I
Like,
I was a
please.
little bit annoyed when that happened too. I was like,
Another
what?
character should be able to like you should be able to talk to them and engage either quest. Like, give me a break. Like, that's bullshit. Maho, you fix that. That's garbage.
Anyway, back to the you finally get to the islands after doing some stuff. You basically my understanding of it, based on my lack of interest of the story, is that Klee really wants to prove herself to Dodo King because Dodo King thinks that she's not worthy to have Dodoku or whatever. I gotta be honest, I immediately lost interest as soon as I started hearing Dodo King and Dodoku. But but in any case, you then have to convince Jean to let Klee go to these islands, and after incredible prowess, with your convincing, you eventually do it, and then you get to these islands, and you get to the islands, and there's a fog. There's a fog all over the place, and you have to clear the fog. Okay, and to clear the fog, you have to jump in a boat and sail around and hit some waypoints, and then you clear the fog. Okay, but when you look at the map, there's like 4 major land masses, and they're tiny. They're tiny. This is the least interesting archipelago I've ever seen in my life.
So I do have something to say about that because
It's incredibly uninteresting.
I was watching Megan play this a little bit last night, and I did see the map. But compared to the when in the part of the quest where you're talking to Lisa in the library, she shows like a map of. She shows like a map of the archipelago, and it
Yes.
looked a lot bigger than like the 4 islands that
Yeah.
were available. I have a feeling the map's gonna get bigger the
I hope
further
so.
the event goes, and there's gonna be
God, I
more
hope so.
islands.
God, I hope so because this
Because
is
yeah, if
tough.
it's just those 4 tiny islands, that would be a real dog shit event.
I hope there's some like thing in the quest line that's like, oh, you have to like pull the landmass up out of the water, but like even still, I was just like, there has to be because there's all these different conchs you have to collect to actually unlock Barbara's skin. You have to collect
Barbara
these
skin.
conchs
Yeah.
with these different like voice quotes, which I literally didn't care about, by the way. You can tell how interested I am in this story in
in the
particular.
story.
I literally didn't care. I was mashing the B button hard on my controller.
Yeah.
And well, okay, I'm sorry, but like Clee
Auto
started talking, and I was like, okay, it's kind of
auto
cute, it's Clee.
auto completes these quests way quicker than I do because I just turn on the auto advance and I actually listen to the
I
dialogue.
I turn it on, and then I realize, oh, she's saying Dodo King and Dodoku. Yeah, get me out. Yeah, get me out. Get me out of there. And I'm just like, I get the gist of it, but I just don't care. I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I really don't care. I gotta move on.
I
And
mean, to be honest, I probably should do it the way you do it. There have been like a couple of good story
there
quests here
are.
and there in Genshin, but there's also been like many of them that were just
Oh no,
pure and utter garbage and a waste of my time.
there's 100% some really good storylines in here.
Venti's storyline was so good.
It was.
Venti's quest was so good.
His quest was good. Some of the recent quests with the guy who starts with D
I forgot his name now. I forgot his name now too.
it was one of the recent ones. It was really good.
Yeah.
It was a very good quest line. I really liked it. It gave a lot of extra lore, and it was great. But once a character starts going Dodoku and Dodo King, I'm out. I can't take it seriously anymore. Gotta go. So, but again, like I was thinking when I got to this, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna get this like really interesting archipelago. There's gonna be a lot of really cool exploration, a lot of cool land masses. I'm out. I'm immediately like, okay, this sucks. This sucks. She's a child, of course she does that. I don't care. I don't care about these children. If you start saying Dodoku and Dodo King to me, and you're trying to catch my curiosity, I'm out. I'll be like, that other person over there, I'll listen to you. I can't do it. You gotta stop saying Dodo King.
I mean, Klee's pretty cute though.
She is. She's wonderful, but I'm just like, you stop. Stop saying Dodo King and Dodoku. I don't. Stop it. I can't do it. But I expect more of this archipelago. I hope that there's like some magical force that brings up the land out of the water so I can explore more. But so far, I've been really unimpressed. I've been actually shocked at how bad it was so far. I hope there's more to it. But this update with the archipelago, there better be some wizard who appears in the sky that brings more land into this particular archipelago, because it's really boring right now.
I mean, or just like they're gonna let you like the map's gonna open up further to another area. And
Yeah,
you're
that'd be
allowed
great.
to go there.
That'd be great, actually. I would really appreciate that because I've completed all the stuff to do in the archipelago, and it took me 2 hours. It took 2 hours. I hope to God there's more.
I mean, there's like 4 segments to the event, as there always
Good.
is. So,
but it took 2 hours to do the first one. And I was like, wow, that was fast. Okay, guess I'm done for the next day or two until the next one opens up, because it's rolling and they all open up every like day or 2 days.
Yeah, I think the third one's like a week. It's like another week.
Yeah,
but the second one's pretty soon. It's like
I hope there's more regions. I really do. I hope so. I really hope so. But right now,
You're disappointed.
I'm really disappointed. Yeah, of course I am. I expected a lot more, but maybe there is more. And if there is, great. Good. I finally get to collect more of the conchs so that I can listen to some quotes and inch closer and closer to getting the Barbara skin, which requires 24. You have to acquire 24 of those things, so you know. This you have to understand, Boone. You left for months, and the rest of us, while you left, were like, I haven't
played the last 2 patches.
We were waiting. We were patient. We played the hide and seek game. We did all the little mini games that they gave us. Put up with it. We did the little Hilichurl, like weird Hilichurl quests. We put
and this one, this one they're actually adding like a new area to the game. So you're expecting something better, and you were quite disappointed, at least with the initial part.
They blue balled me hard here.
They blue balled you hard.
This is bad. I was like, for 2 months. I'm not even kidding. For 2 months, it's been like nothing. Nothing.
Which is why I stopped playing for the last like 3 or 4 months, because I quit partway through the the lantern
Yeah,
patch,
Lantern
which
Right.
was 1.3.
That
Yeah,
was
I
like
quit
3 or 4
through
4 months ago.
midway through that one. That
Yeah,
was in February, and then
since
I haven't
March.
played the last two. Well, I played the past week basically.
Yeah,
I
sure.
started like I booted up again like the
Yeah,
last
sure.
week, and
But
I've been at least logging in every
you
day.
got out, but us zombies, we've been
Yeah,
waiting. Like our lives have been sucked away.
been waiting for some actual content to come to
MiHoYo's
Genshin
been like
Impact.
they've been leaving the carrot in front of us. Like no, but 1.6 new region, then new skins, and they kept doing it. And
Inazuma better come soon. Like the actual next new region, that better come soon.
God,
Well,
I hope
the
so.
leak, okay,
God, I hope so.
the leak they put, well, they leaked themselves,
Yeah,
but
they did.
because I
Yes,
guess they didn't want actual leakers to do
yes,
it.
because they're tired of it.
So
They literally got tired of it, and they're like, "Can you stop leaking things? We're getting angry." And
so
they just started doing it.
they leaked three new characters, and I believe they're all like Inazuma
Yes,
characters. They're all like Japanese, like if like with the names and like
correct.
their style. There was a fire archer, there was a wind swordsman, and a wind mage, I guess, or catalyst user.
Sure.
Um, I think I heard that the wind swordsman is supposed to be the 5-star character on this patch.
Yes, it is.
So whenever that banner comes, I don't know if it's in like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, whenever.
Yep.
So that'll be the one. He looks. I mean, I don't know what his abilities are, but I like his aesthetic. I think he looks pretty cool. So
I actually
I
like
might
all of
actually
them.
pull for him.
I like all of them. I think all of them look great.
Yeah, I like the fire archer too. I wasn't super big on the raccoon child or whatever that was.
Whatever that was. Okay, yeah. The raccoon
uh,
child. Uh,
but
that's
the
the
other
other
two
two,
look
yeah.
cool for
No,
me.
no, the other
And
two
by
do
the
look
way,
great.
if Amber wasn't obsolete already, they're releasing a new 5-star fire archer. So
Just
goodbye,
like
Amber. If anyone was,
Amber fans in shambles. You know, I actually considered. I'm so bored. I actually considered trying to figure out doing like a super
how to
powered
use Amber,
Amber. How do I use Amber in super power user?
you
Because
can't. She sucks.
I'm so bored with everything in the game. I'm like trying to think of stuff. I'm like, man, what can I do? What can I do to pique my own interest in this game right now? Because these islands suck. Hmm.
I think the islands will open up more, and there will
They,
be
I
more to explore. And
I
hopefully, in
hope
the
so.
next patch or two, we will get the actual like at least the first section of the new region.
I hope so
Like
too. I really do because
yeah,
you're
this
lucky. You're lucky, my friend.
I'm
You
not
really are.
lucky. I'm
You're
smart. I was
lucky.
like, man, these upcoming patch looks like dog shit. I'm not
You're
gonna play this game
you're
right
very
now. This
lucky.
looks boring. This is filler garbage. I don't want to play
You're
this.
very lucky. Us Genshin fans have been. Many of us have been suffering. Um, and this is what we got for our suffering.
Yep,
And
you're a true Genshin
I
fan because
I
you're
really am.
suffering.
I really am a true Genshin fan. I really
Hmm.
am. I really like this game, but sometimes I just really wish that I wouldn't get like a quarter of the archipelago and the first quarter of it is extremely uninteresting. Why couldn't have they made the first quarter really awesome so that even if the last
Yeah,
part was terrible,
it piques your
it
interest.
piques my interest. I
Yeah,
just
good
like
first impression. It was a bad first
exactly.
impression for this
Oh
one.
yeah, I had a really bad first impression. Like I was really disappointed that I finished it all in 2 hours. And I'm like, I was thinking the whole time, like, no way, this is it. There's got to be more. That map looked great. Where the hell is this? So something will happen. I hope it does quickly. But right now,
But you'll have to listen to Klee talk more about
I
Dodoko and Dodo
I
King.
do like Klee is great. Like her first initial quests when she was first her banner first released were really funny and great. I just I don't want to hear any more about Dodo King and Dodoku all that. I just really don't.
Oh, by the way, can I mention, by the way, like, obviously Klee's cool, and, like, I think she's a pretty decent character. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have her, and I don't use her, but man, this banner is dog shit.
So it's Klee as the 5-star.
It's
It's
Klee, and then it's Sucrose,
Sucrose,
Barbara, and
Barbara,
Fischl.
and Fischl.
And if you don't have a billion Sucrose, Barbara, and Fischls by now, like, I don't
Yeah, they
know.
keep
Like,
rotating them. There's a couple characters that just don't get any love. And
I have C6 Fischl, I have at least C4 or 5 Barbara, if not C6, and I've got at least again like C3, 4, or 5 on Sucrose.
Yeah,
I
because
think it's like
they've been on the
okay.
banner a
I
ton.
mean, I guess it's cool to have a banner that I don't want to pull on, and I can just save up for when the wind sword guy comes out on
But
if it's the
still, you're
next
just like,
banner. But I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna pull on this banner. This banner's garbage. Like, nope. Like, Klee's cute, but I don't care enough about Klee to pull for her.
I just want to say this. I like how um Amber, Lisa, Kaya, the ones that you get for free, they never get on that banner. So how the hell do you get a full constellation on them besides normal banner? And like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I I've only gotten one other Amber on the normal pulls.
Yeah, I
How
think
the
I've gotten
frick are you
like
supposed to?
one Amber or one Kaya, or maybe one of both. I don't remember, but
How
yeah,
the
I
hell are
haven't
you
gotten very
supposed to get
many.
a full constellation on these? They stink, but at the same time, it'd be nice if
Yeah,
you could get a
like
full constellation on
you're
them.
just not supposed to use them because they're bad.
But there's like,
Like,
I almost want to like write an open letter to Mihoyo. It's like, Mihoyo, I get it; these are bad characters, but I kind of want to see what they're like in a full constellation environment. Can you please put one on the banner? Like, I'm sure some people would be upset about it, but are you kidding me? Like, we all have full Barbara and Fischl. We all have it. Stop putting it on the banner. We all have it. And for the
I mean,
person
Fischl's
out
great.
there,
I love Fischl, but
yeah,
like I've got C6 Fischl.
and for the people out there like, I don't have full Fischl. I was like, okay, buddy, thanks. But for the rest of us, for the super fans out there who are zombies right now, like me, we're I want some. I want Amber. I want Kaya or Lisa. Like, how am I supposed to get constellations on them if they're not on banners? The limited banners. Limited banners. Anyway, good stuff. Can you tell I'm a Genshin fan? Can you tell?
You're begrudgingly a Genshin fan right
I really
now.
am. I find that in a lot of
You're
games
an
I
you're an
enjoy
angry
it.
you're an angry Genshin
I think
fan
I'm
right
an
now
angry
who just
fan in a lot of games.
you just want some content,
I'm
dude.
generally an angry fan, I guess. It was the same way with HOTS. I'm so angry with that game all the time, but I really like playing it. I'm an angry fan of these games. But I mean, like, I enjoy it still. I do enjoy it. But anyway, um okay. I got class soon, my friend.
Yep,
Let's do a little bit of closing here.
yep.
And we should probably do some quick closing thoughts regarding our schedules for the next couple of weeks. By the way, we should definitely mention this. So before we get to that, to close, we appreciate everybody who stopped by. Try Courage, you can go ahead and wake up now. Genshin's over, and just want to remind everybody that the giveaway is still live. Exclamation point giveaway in the chat will produce that. You should check out our YouTube and support us there. There are a lot of great videos that go up, and we'll get more and more videos as we move forward. Once Scarlet Nexus comes out, we're gonna have tons of Scarlet Nexus content. I imagine we'll both get Mario Golf, get some Mario Golf videos. I think those would be great
Hmm.
for like highlights. We should do Mario Golf highlights. We should do a stream together where we both play it in the
Hmm.
multiplayer, and we should do some Mario Golf highlights. I think that's what we'll do. Um,
Oh, do I have to buy Nintendo Switch Online again? Damn it.
didn't we have the friend? Oh, were you not in
I'm
our
not on
friend?
that. I'm not on that.
Maybe we could add somebody there. Maybe we can add somebody. I can check if I can add somebody to it. I'll just add you to it. Um, we've already got some folks on it, but still have space, I think. Um, uh, to continue, please be sure to check out the YouTube, and if you don't follow us on Twitter, you should follow us on Twitter. We appreciate that stuff. And now to talk about our schedules while this fly bothers me. Um, so June 23rd, Boone has a final exam.
Well, my exam's the 24th, but
24th, but that
23rd would have
puts
been the day of the podcast, which is the day before.
the question mark. The question mark is the podcast on the 23rd. So that's something first. The second thing is I have a final exam on the 30th. And I will not be participating in any podcast related. So,
Yeah. I mean, the thought at the moment is just to move the podcast for both those weeks to
correct.
Thursday.
So the initial thought is to move to Thursday, and
Which is not next week is normal schedule plus any extra E3 coverage we do.
yes, but
Um,
the
the week after,
24th
yeah,
and
the following 2 weeks.
yeah, and I'm thinking the 1st of July would actually be. that Thursday. The 1st of July was the other day
Yep.
we'll be thinking of. So we'll update regarding the podcast schedule those weeks. Hopefully as soon as possible. But my expectation would be we'll be moving both of those episodes to the Thursday, and it'll more than likely be the same time Thursday. So
Yeah.
if you're all curious about that, we'll be sure to post about it, and you'll know ahead of time. So, any other closing thoughts, Spoon?
Nope, that's it. As you said, once Scarlet Nexus comes out, I will be on break. So I think our plan is for us to each take one character and stream it to well,
Yes.
maybe you'll stream it to your personal channel, but you'll upload to YouTube. I'm not
So
sure,
it'll
but
depend. I can do either, but the point is that I'll whatever happens, it'll upload to the podcast YouTube. Doesn't matter. Um, but in any case, yeah, we'll each pick a character. I pick Kasane, and we'll we'll play it, and we'll upload all of our content and such, and then maybe at some point, either on the podcast or something else, we'll do like a review of Scarlet Nexus.
yep,
And then we'll play Mario Golf too, and Mario Golf would be super fun. We'd love to play with
yep.
other people too, if anybody's interested. So look forward to that as well at the end of the month. So okay, let's call it here,
That's it.
Spoon. Yeah,
Yep.
thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully we'll see you guys next week at the normal day and time for the podcast. Otherwise, if Spoon streams Tales of Berseria, you should check that out. That's typically been happening Fridays and Mondays.
Yeah, I didn't do last Friday, even
Yeah.
though I was planning on it, but I didn't. Some other stuff came up. But
Okay.
again, the plan will be to go for Friday and Monday again upcoming. So
Yep.
we'll
And
see.
and just as a final thought, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it now. There's no Dungeons and Dragons this week. We're taking a week off due to DM scheduling constraints and workload.
Yeah,
So
DM's too busy.
DM's busy. So we'll be skipping this week. We'll do it next week. So thanks everybody for watching. Thank you,
Hmm.
Spoon, as always, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yep.